What's up, guys? How's everything? This is Shannon Skip Syas.
And I'm Steve Hurley.
And this is the S&S Chicago podcast. And we are sitting here. Matter of fact, I will let Steve introduce this phenomenal young lady right now.
Oh, wow. Yeah, man, you changed it up on me, but it's okay. Because I know this young lady here.
Here it is.
So we go way back. Let's give it up for the singer, songwriter, vocal arranger, just everything. She's even a producer. I mean, like, she's producing her own vocals. She's still doing it. Give it up for Chantay Savage.
That's awesome.
All right. What's up? Nice introduction, girl.
I'm trying.
That's awesome. Well, we appreciate you being here, Chantay. This is special for me. You know, I know also special for Steve as well. And just having someone with your history here sitting down with us on our podcast is something in itself, and I'm sure is special for the fans and everyone else. I mean, that's your camera there. Steve is over on that side. You can wave at the people.
Hey, y'all. What's up?
Yep.
Yeah. And then we got a series of questions we're going to go through, but this is kind of like a round table where we just hang out and kick it. You know, it's not one of those stuffy, over the top, look for slander and satire. Right. We don't subscribe to that. No, we move different. So this is real cool. So, I mean, just in general, and when you see me doing that, that's how we will be able to push that out anyway. But, we got a couple of little tricks that we can use here and there. But we just want to know, in general, like, what was your early musical childhood journey like? Because we start from the beginning and move our way down the line.
Okay. It's like, Hurley, you know the answers to all these.
No, I don't know the answer to what he's asking.
The very
because before you met me, like the beginnings, like of becoming what you became, like kind of like maybe the influence of the home or siblings, parents, like that type of thing.
Okay, well, it's not to say it's stereotypical or cliche, but it all started in church. Literally, it all started in church. 3-year-old, and of course, like my parents, grandparents. There's a legacy in the church that we went to like generations. So it started with the Little Sunshine Choir. So I'm 3 years old, doing my little thing. And the director, God rest her soul, she just saw something in me. And it's like, I think I was 3 when I had my first lead song.
You had a solo at 3?
It was like a lead,
right.
But
it's a solo for a minute. I mean, if you're singing by yourself at any point.
Yeah. And it was like, I was like, okay. And of course, you're fearless.
You probably like, this is easy.
For me, like at that age, most kids, you're fearless. I was like, all right. And I'll never forget the reaction that I got. Like to this day, like, I remember the reaction. There was a reaction from the crowd. I was like, damn, what did I do? Yeah. I was like, really? And I just loved it. Yeah. And it just felt good. And it was like, wow, all of this, the applause and of course I'm a kid. So it just went from there to fast forward. By the time I was 13, I was before 13, I ended up being the director for the little choir that I was singing in.
Yeah, because you were still in it for years.
Exactly. And then by 13, I was the minister of music for the whole church.
13-year-old minister of music?
By 13, I was like...
How is it that I don't even know that?
I don't know.
We were too busy back in the day to even talk. That's the problem.
Exactly.
We were just in the studio.
Like Zoom.
Yeah, it wasn't no time.
Yeah. So I was I was teaching my mom's choir. So like Wednesday night was choir rehearsal night. I had to do the little choir, someone else took over I had the junior choir, middle choir, and my mom's choir.
So the adult choir too?
Yes.
Wow.
That was my job, right? Because, in the interim, in that time, I had done piano lessons and all that stuff.
Wow.
So
that's what I was going to ask you too, because I know on I Will Survive, you played the intro on that with no problem. Oh, yeah. And you even were doing shows playing it. And, and I didn't even know until maybe... I don't know when I found out that I don't know when I found out that you played. It was probably after you already had records out. Like
it was
at Tanglewood.
It was because
I didn't really realize.
I didn't really play on anything until we did that. I didn't really play on anything till we did that. Right.
Wow. I think that's like, to me, that's like a good trait that you showed. I'm somebody who's tinkering around on the piano. You know, you could get on there and just do all that stuff. Yeah. Because I'm more like my ear. I'm more like playing by ear and hearing what's sounding good and trying to find it. But you could have actually got on there and played, but you didn't try to upstage me. You
knew the tech stuff, though. Like, you knew how to take those chords and manipulate them in a way that I didn't learn. No, I wish I had spent more time doing that. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you had a whole nother dimension of what to do with these chords.
It was weird. I was like a mad scientist. Yeah. I tell them all the time, I didn't take the music theory. I took lessons, but I was playing by ear in my lessons for 3 years. I'm like, I said, can you play that for me? The music teacher, I have him play it for me, and I'll be memorizing it in my head.
It's nothing like
and
the
then
ear.
and then when it's time to play it, I'm missing stuff because I'm not really looking at the notes. I'm just looking down at my fingers to try to figure out what I memorized.
Right.
So I didn't really learn how to actually find the chords. I didn't learn the keys. I didn't learn all the notes of each key. If I'd have learned all that stuff and understood, like it was just boring to me. I wanted to play what I wanted to play. No,
I get that because like I did lessons for years, right? The reading and then practicing at home. However, I think because it's weird because I was like a minister of music, like everything I taught choir wise, that it didn't require notes and you know what I mean? I wasn't writing anything, and it was everything was by ear.
Did you have to tell them like you're up a third or you up a fifth? You
sopranos, altos, tenors.
You're like no,
that's how I was taught. The sopranos, the altos, the tenors. You got to know those parts.
Yeah,
and bass, whatever. First soprano, second soprano, all that. And you just know that by ear, and you know what it's supposed to sound like. But then you play the chords because church was like, at that time when I was coming up, it was like whatever the hot song was, a popular song. I had to learn the old stuff, but I'm like, we going sing some.
You wanted to jazz it up a little bit,
or whatever. So I had to listen to the record and learn those songs, then teach.
And that's when it got fun for you, right?
That's when it was fun for me.
So that's the same with me, but to the point where I was so unprepared. Theory-wise, that I came up with my own system, a numbering system of my own. Like when I play on the bass, the fourth note or the sixth note, that's gonna give me like an R&B. It's like I have my own.
Like it's brain system. But you know this.
It's the technical side.
Know this? And I know you know this as a producer. Like sometimes you can get the greatest musician, right? But you try to get them to produce a song and it's like whack.
Or even write a song. They don't hear it. They can find anything you want.
Exactly.
Well, so somebody has to know what you want. So that's right. I didn't realize how valuable that was as a producer, is to know what you want. Yes. Because even if you can't play it, there's somebody who can.
Right.
Yeah, so
right. But I can hum it to them. Because I have literally worked with musicians like that have been in my band and they were so cold. Only one of those musicians was actually able to give me a record, like a track that was cold.
Did you ever know Big Jim, who worked with Ann Nesby?
Right, but I never worked with him.
That's why he was doing stuff for Mariah Carey with Jam and Lewis.
He was cold. His stuff is cold.
He was like your church guy that plays and thing, but just like I mean, like doing stuff that nobody can do. Yeah. But then he also had the ear. Yeah. He also knew how to create. Yeah. He knew how to create. So that was a very rare thing that he had. Remember we had the musicians when we were doing the Kanye and the Selena in at Jerry's studio, and how I had to communicate with the musicians, but I never once said play it in C or anything like that. I was humming it to him, or I was on the piano going, dun, 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 dun. This is the key. This is the note you're gonna go. Dun, 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 dun. I'm like humming it to him.
That's such a skill though, because some people can't. Like if you flip it around, like some musicians don't know. You have like all of this knowledge, but they don't know how to key in on what they want. So it's bomb. Like when you can find a musician to do that, it's not easy to do that.
So let me ask you a question. What's your process? Like when you're in that space, right? And how most creatives they lock in, and they may have this thing that they do or process that they take in order to get to that special place creatively.
It varies. Okay, like, all right, so let's go from the church to R&B, you know, and just being at home. Like I can at a certain point I could play whatever I wanted. Like I learned every artist that I like, everything from Prince to Anita Baker, anybody, I could just play it and sing it. You know what I mean? So, but when I met these guys, when I met Hurl in the bunch, that was like the best training camp for, I think, for an artist as far as learning how to make records. And because before that, like I would write poems and stuff like that, but I never really sat down to write a song. So when we got down to the studio with Hurley, that's where I started learning how to, and it just clicked though, how to like put this into a verse, a hook, a bridge. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I started doing that. But prior to that, I was learning songs, teaching songs, but not making songs. I was writing poems, you know what I mean? But not really making my own songs yet. I would write all kind of stuff.
Did you find that your writing was different from what you listened to, and then you had to get closer to writing what you like to listen to?
You know what? This is so crazy because this is how I give so much credit to the producers and the musicians, because in that aspect, because before I got with y'all, there was this producer that my brother would work with. You know, my brother's reggae band.
Yeah, the
and
reggae band.
And he was like kind of popish. And I don't know, at that time, I think the beauty of growing up when we grew up is that we listened to everything. Yep. The radio was everything. We had pop, we had Elton John, we had
punk rock.
All that on the radio. So it was like my taste was vast. So it's like when I got with this guy, I just did like a track or two. I wasn't feeling it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, and it didn't I don't know, it didn't really nurture, it didn't breed anything. So as far as my process goes, even then I hadn't found that niche. I hadn't found my system yet. But when I got with Hurley in the bunch down at ID, it was like it just clicked. The music.
Yeah, because you and E and Jerry, y'all on the writing, you all were clicking on that. Yeah. And then like We Got a Love Thing was one of the most fun records for me to produce, because all I had to do was make a few alterations to the chords to make them a little bit more like an uplifting thing. But then what you all had melodically and lyrically was so on point. Like you all got in there, you were writing some really nice lyrics.
Fun. It was like go by then. It was like zoom, and it was like, I'll never forget with that. All my influence. I was inspired. I reached into my emotion influences. Yeah. If you think about some of those songs,
emotions, okay.
That was the whole vibe of that. That's what I heard. And I was like, that was like the little runs.
So you probably really had that on Bet You Never Find, because I actually was going into that musically. But good thing I did a remix on it. Yeah. Because it wasn't today. Like, it's like the remix took it into a today thing. Because with Janae going more soulful, we went in that direction with the remix of Bet You Never Find. Yeah, because the original was more like on that emotions kind of thing. Poppy. But that probably helped you to write it. But then I wanted to darken it up and make it more, what's the word? More uplifting and soulful.
It was more soulful. It just had more meat.
Like my Roy Ayers influence. It just
had that thing that resonated. I don't know what you call that.
But then you still got the pretty melodies on top. which probably came from it being more of a poppy sounding thing at first.
The melodies.
So that's when I realized like you could take something that's, because I was realizing it as a remixer that I could remix Liza Minnelli or Madonna or whatever.
Everything.
Yeah. But I love like the contrast of somebody doing this really beautiful pop record, and I'm gonna turn it into something that the underground people would get into, like an artist that they would never listen to, but now they listen to it, and then they find out afterwards that it's Liza or
that used to trip
Paul
me out.
Abdul or whoever it is, because that was like fun for me to just put their vocals up and say, now how do I make this sound? Almost like if you were in church playing and you had an arrangement that was kind of like more traditional, like major chords and all that stuff. Yeah. And then you took it into a more minors and 13th chords and 9th chord, and you're doing all that other stuff to it, but it's still the same song melodically. But you're giving people more of a feeling.
It changes the whole feel of the song.
So I mean, we're pretty much doing the same thing. Yeah. But I was doing it my way, and you were doing it your way. That sounds familiar.
It was dope though.
Do it my way.
I remember like some of those remixes used to do, and like the way they would turn out so different, and like they'll be playing on the radio or whatever. And I was like, boy, if y'all only knew what this sounded like when it came in here.
Right. Yeah.
That's crazy. So even with that being said, when you get a record like I Will Survive, right? And it becomes this hit, like what's the embrace behind that? Now, you know what? Let's go back. What was your first record? What was your first record when you really felt like, wow, I'm here. I'm in the space. I'm in this business. I am amongst my peer group.
Wow. I guess like 100% I Will Survive, but Betcha though was Betcha was no joke.
Remember you went on the tour?
That was the first one. Yeah.
Remember you went on the tour, and the first time I remember when you first went on a promotional tour, nobody knew the song, right? Yes. So you sang it. Nobody knew the words. Then I think it was a New York show, and I think I went to it.
It was New York.
They were singing every word.
That blew my mind.
I couldn't believe it. I was like,
I couldn't either.
What the heck?
I couldn't either.
How do they know all these words? So lyrically, you reached them, but it's not going to be instant all the time. That's what some people have to understand.
Not at all.
And in this day and age, people aren't patient enough to wait to like a song. They like it now, they don't.
Right. And it was like we really worked that song, but I had no idea. Yeah. Like, because I literally was on a promo tour, and we went around the country, and by the time we got to New York.
What does that feel like when you people don't know your song? Like, and you got to perform it. Do you just take yourself into a different frame of mind?
Yeah, because honestly, you're just happy to be there. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be signed. And it's like, honest to God, I had just had confidence in my capabilities on a stage. So I'm like,
well, that helps too.
Not to be cocky, but I was like, okay, I'm not going to bomb out here. Right. Like, I'm not going to, you're not going to catch me slipping.
Yeah, because New York is tough.
Right. So either you like it or you don't, but it's not going to be because I didn't do my job.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? So I was just honestly happy. I was just happy to be there. So it's like sometimes that comes across, and honestly, I never got any shade on the road. Like, they didn't know the songs, but they were, I don't know, they were very, they were polite. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because you had the skill set and the professionalism, and you were showing that you were a true professional, and that even if they didn't know the song, they would at least listen to it. Yeah. And then maybe when they go home or they hear it on the radio one time, like, oh, that's the girl that I checked out. Yeah. And all of a sudden, that's their favorite jam.
Exactly. Right. Because that's how that song just grew. And then because of New York, I remember Hot 97 brought me to Universal Studios.
Oh, wow.
Like, that was the first time I saw Wendy Williams. Like, wow. You know what I mean? And I was like, it was so surreal, but it was fun. I'm hanging out at Universal. I would love to have been there too. And they had I was stuck in the studio. Yeah, you were. Right. Yeah. But do you remember that? Because Andre and I were.
I remember hearing where you were going, and you did. I remember I went when you did Soul Train. That was cool. That was epic. Man, that just to be on Soul Train. You grew up watching Soul Train.
I remember we were all watching that after the fact. Yeah, the first time. I did that.
Now, who were your influences? I mean, because I hear a little bit of everybody, like you said. You have many influences. Like who were the people that influenced you to be you? You know?
Man, it's a gumbo. Starting out, first of all, with Miss Watson, like my director from church. Like I learned so much from her just about how to resonate. You know, like she was like an unofficial vocal coach. You know what I mean? And also at 13, like she had this summer program where all we did was the whole job was to put on a play. So we did like musicals in the summer, and that was literally our job. Like one year we did The Wiz, and I got to play. I was Eveline. That was my first standing ovation.
Wow.
So this woman, she had so much of an influence on me. And it was like No Bad News. You know, and the runs at the end and all that. I was like, and the whole neighborhood came. It was like a presentation church. And I wish they had stuff like that now. Like that, you know, and it was like
so that theater thing helped you on stage.
Oh my God. Because absolutely.
Because then you're not afraid of anything if you can survive in that. And you can survive singing in church.
Yep.
The way people will judge you in church.
Yeah. Oh God. They're
so
crucial.
That's a great training. Both of those are great training grounds.
Yeah.
So you had experience as a solo artist and as a collaborator, right? So which one of those what's the contrast to being a solo artist and actually being a collaborator?
Well, okay.
So like how do you approach them both differently, or is it not a different approach being a solo artist and a collaborative artist? It's
different because it just dawned on me that I didn't give you all my influences, but I'll get back to that.
Give them to me now. I want to hear.
Anita Baker, Prince, Shaka Khan, even a little Patty. Long story to that.
Give me the long story. What's the little Patty thing?
Okay, the Patty thing. My cousin, may he rest in peace. He was gay.
Yeah.
And at that time coming up, it was like she was queen everything. Right. And he loved her. And I would go to his house and he would just have all these Patty records and he played Patty like ad nauseum. But you know, that stuff gets locked in there.
It does.
And one day he took me to, and of course, at that age, anything I listened to, I would learn to play. Right. Some of her songs, like to this day, I know like B-side cuts, that Patty songs that people don't know. And he took me to a Patty concert, right? I was like, oh boy, was I 12 or 13? But I don't even know if I was supposed to be there. It was at the Airy Crown. Literally, it brought me to tears. Like seeing that whole, like I knew, I was like, oh, I'm so gonna be doing this. Right. But it's like when you see it's like seeing a manifestation before it happens. Like that was the first concert. I think I think I saw the Jackson 5 before that. But seeing a female solo artist after hearing those records, right? And she smoked all of them. And the way the crowd, it was just like, I was just moved. So that's how the Patty, that's the Patty thing. And it's like our styles are totally different, but I just so respect like her stage presence and like how she just left it all out there.
She commanded the stage and everything.
There's this one song where she sings, Isn't It a Shame? Like a lot of people don't even know that. But if you go to YouTube, she's literally rolling around on the ground. Like literally rolling around. Like I want
to look at that
just
one.
Like,
I remember her kicking off the shoes. I never saw her rolling around.
Treat yourself and didn't miss one note. She just gave it all. Wow. And I got a chance to see stuff like that live.
Wow.
So that's why I say Patty.
Okay.
I got a story for damn near every, like Anita Baker. I got a story about her. First of all, I feel like she's like my fairy vocal godmother.
Okay.
I mean, like I grew up as I was like a first soprano in the choir. And at a certain point, I think you remember her, I was like, I'm so tired of singing in the trees. I'm so tired of singing. Man, everything was so, make it any better. Oh my God. He wanted me to everything. It was like, just because you can, you know.
The trees.
And it's like, I always loved, even once I became a director, I loved that whole little space of alto. Yeah. But to me, Anita Baker, what got me about her, I think she's low-key a soprano who just, you know what I mean?
Right.
An alto who can just pop out on you on a soprano and just go low. That's what I loved about her. And like, I didn't know, but my cousin was home from the military and one summer, and he had a new car, whatever. And he called and it was like, girl, come outside. I want you to hear something, you know? And so I thought he wanted me to see his new car, but he wanted me to hear Anita. It was that first album. And I was like, oh my God. It was like
the first solo album or
that first one, Angel. The first Angel. Okay. Oh my God. Yeah. I was like, this is just amazing. You know what I mean? Because prior to that, there was the Whitneys and all that. But her voice is like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, so is what.
Did you actually learn like how to make your low tones stand out more by listening to her? Like how do you, because it's a certain flavor that she has that,
honestly,
like a certain oomph that she gives her low notes, because a lot of people can't sing low notes and make them pop.
Honestly,
like that. And you seem to have mastered that.
I just felt validated by her. Oh. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, this space feels so good when I do it, but it's always, you gotta sing, you know, soprano. And I was like in like community choirs and all that. And I just wanted to chill, right? Can I chill right here? And then that's why I love vocalists like that. Like, you think they're one thing and then they can just like hit you with a note, but they don't stay there. You know what I mean? I don't just think a singer should just put the whole kitchen soup in a song or performance, but I dig it when like a singer who can have different facets. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, if you listen
the dynamics of it all,
an album, like every song doesn't sound the same, but they're not trying to sound like anybody else, but this is this person in this register, or this is her on this vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I got from her. And it's like, that really was a major influence. That was like validation to like, do that. You know what I mean? Do that. And it served me. And it's like, her tones, I could definitely relate. You know what I mean? Of course, I learned, everybody like that influenced me, I've learned to play every single song and perform. And it's like, I was at something, and they were asking me questions, and somebody from my old neighborhood was there.
Wow.
And they remember, they was like, she used to entertain the whole block. And I really did. Like, I'd be practicing, but for 2 hours, I'd just be learning some songs and singing them.
Well, I apologize for trying to keep you in the trees, but blame it on Lolita Holloway and people like that, and First Choice and all those people who made the early disco records that we were playing in the house culture scene, like that, because we were always looking for that as producers when we were doing up-tempo music, and we even looked for it when we did down. So I had to learn that it could be like peaks and valleys, as opposed to just always going 100 miles per hour, or, you know, as high as you could possibly go. It's something to that. Like, even in a DJ set, you're not gonna play all songs that are screaming. When when Love Sensation by Lolita Holloway came in, that's like you're taking them to another level. You don't start out at that level and just stay there. Yeah, so I had to learn that, you know, as a DJ and as a producer.
Definitely.
So I apologize.
But that's a hot take right there.
Some of it was fun. It was fun sometimes because, like, I was a club kid too. That's a whole nother. I was like,
please tell them about that.
Row, that was my group.
That's what I want to hear about.
Like, we went to all the parties and we were just like these club kids who swore we were the shit. Right. We were really. Yeah. But it's like it's funny how when you tell yourself something, it was like, okay, we're designer everything. So we're going to go to the parties and we will be on the front row. And it got to a point
that... I know you hear them screaming in the background.
Literally, it got to the point where literally we didn't even have to pay to
and I didn't even know that was her when Eve brought her down to the studio. I didn't find out till later that she was one of the people from Front Row.
We were so at your parties. And it was like, it literally got to the point where we have to pay to get into the parties because Front Row, they went, because we were like, well, really, if you think of marketing, we were great marketers because we were all fabulous and we were all dancing the whole time.
Right.
Wow. But we were like those.
Yeah, y'all were keeping the party going. I love Front Row.
We were those kids. We did. And I mean, it got to the point where, remember, I think y'all had like the Intercontinental parties and stuff, like we were in the Bismarck rooms. And all that. We were in rooms, and so that we could like have our outfits together. We don't have to go home. We were some kids. We were like, and it was like all ages, but so I love that part. Not to interrupt, but I love the part of being a club kid, dancing to those songs, and then being able to make those.
That's what I was gonna say, having a parallel between the two, right, where you inspired by being there and absorbing all of this fantastic music. Absolutely. And thinking to yourself, man, I can do this, and I hear this live and front and center. Yes. But man, let me go home and let me try to learn how to play this, or let me try to learn how to write this record. So that was actually my question. I would just want to know, was that a place of inspiration for you?
Yes, but at the time I didn't even know it. I was just so busy being all about the club and being fabulous that I didn't even realize it. But all of those songs, like, oh God, all those club songs, I didn't even realize I was being influenced by them. But and another thing, it was like, with being so young, I was just happy. Okay, I want to be in church right now. You know what I mean? So okay, this is like, because it got to a point, literally, I would be out all weekend and had to be at my job Sunday to direct the choir.
Right.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Right. It was like, so it got to the, but that was, I guess that was really my official first job.
What was that?
Being a minister of music.
That was at 13.
Wow.
Yep.
That's
so,
amazing.
After I got older and older, going to the clubs and, you know what I mean?
It wasn't mixing.
I have been forgiven by God. But I mean, I was like,
we didn't have gospel house back
then. And, like, okay, shower, dress. Because, there have been times I've been grounded for getting home at the sun's coming up,
Tell me about it.
But you kept your commitment.
Absolutely. I was not going. Absolutely.
So you were focused.
I never fumbled that.
See, that's awesome. So you knew, when I go out, I'm going to enjoy myself, have a good time, but I'm going to purposely make sure that my word is my word. So you kept your word to everything that you had done throughout that time.
For sure.
Oh man, that's awesome. Sure. That's awesome. That's
but
awesome.
it all fed like who I am, like all those influences. I really wish, like, I don't know if artists today have that. They don't have the luxury that we did. Like, we had everything. We had dance, house, rock, the pop, reggae, you name it. We had it.
So while we're on that subject of the Front Row, right?
I was going to ask about
how did that influence when you started doing the scat stuff? Because that stuff was like, was giving the children life, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like just all those scat. I mean, we started having a scat version on every song because you were nailing it so much that all the LGBTQ clubs all over, they were losing it to like Gotta Hold on You, the scat mix. That we had to do a scat mix on Betcha. We got to do a scat mix on.
I know, we started the whole scat mix.
But you had a knack for doing that. So where would you say, was that like a cross pollination of Anita Baker and the house stuff that you were coming up with?
That was my dad.
Oh, wow.
My dad, I didn't even talk. Yeah, my dad he was a jazz musician.
Oh, yeah,
from Alabama.
Jazz.
Like,
that's a good point.
He grew up with, as a kid, B.B. King and, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
So what kind of artist would be an example of somebody who did scats back in the day? Like
Sarah Vaughan. So like
Sarah Vaughan, yeah.
Every weekend, because like my dad, he was like missed a blue. He was like James Evans from Good Times.
Oh, okay.
So like he was working all the time. In fact, like he would go to work when we were sleeping, like from 3 a.m. And when I got home from school, he'd be sleeping because he had to, you know what I mean? But on the weekends, he would get up on Saturday morning and like the whole day, I would say from like, I don't know, 8 to maybe 2 or 3 playing jazz.
Wow.
It was dope. Like it was every kind of.
So you're hearing that?
I'm hearing that from like basically all my life. Because my dad worked for the same company like all my life.
Wow.
I was so excited when I got them vocals. I couldn't believe you sang that straight through like that. Like it just had like, it was like a journey. So it was easy for me to put the music to it. I was like, I'm feeling everything she's saying right here.
That was so fun.
That was one of the most fun records I actually did.
For real?
Yeah, because it was all like, it wasn't structured so much. It was just like all feeling.
Oh yeah, because I remember I started out doing it right, and who did I record it with? Mo first, and he was like, keep doing it. I was
because he was hearing what I was hearing.
I was like, oh, okay.
You're like, okay.
I was like, okay, because I was just having fun with it. But that's all like my dad's influence, like that jazz thing, and I swear it's just like. That's why you be careful of the environment you raise kids in, because whether you know it or not, this stuff is being instilled. And it's like, prior to that, I don't think I've ever really used that. I don't know, but
that was
you know what?
Place to use
I
it,
always, around the house. And my dad, he played like, he was like so covert with it. Like he'd be going to the kitchen or whatever, and next thing you know, you hear him playing. He was kind of like Prince's father in that way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He played the piano and he played the guitar.
Did he teach you the piano?
Nah.
Was he actually doing scats too?
Nah, he was.
But when you listen to like Sarah Vaughan and people like that, then that
like,
influenced.
Exact. Sarah Vaughan, you name it. Ella Fitzgerald, all that stuff. Everything.
Wow.
Like that's where my jazz influence comes from. My dad.
You wouldn't believe how many people from New York, Kenny Dope and Louis Vega, they hit me all the time. Like, man, that got a hold on. Yeah, because when they would play it, their crowd would just go nuts. It was like an underground classic.
That's crazy.
It was bigger than probably you even know. Like, in the underground circuit.
It's funny you say that it's unstructured, because I remember the first time Mo was like, we got to do a show. I was like, for real? I was like, how do you memorize that? There's no way. So every time
if you could sing it exactly like it was, people would lose their mind, because they listen to it so many times that they memorize it.
I learned maybe like the first 8, like by heart. Maybe 16. I even did 16. After that, ain't no way.
Remember, I listened to it a bunch of times in the studio, so I have it all memorized in my head.
Yeah,
so every time it goes to another part, I'm like, ooh, let me do this here.
There's no way, because the reason why is because it's a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, sometimes, depending on the environment, that feeling will take you somewhere, so a whole nother scat or whatever.
Right.
But being a performer, because I sometimes think as a consumer too, when I go to a concert, like I'll never forget being at a Prince concert, and he was changing everything. And somebody yelled out what I was thinking. This dude was like, sing the song like you wrote it, Prince. And I was thinking the same thing. Right. And that kind of stuck with me. So like as a consumer, you do want to hear like the record, how the record goes. But with something like that, I got a good 16 after that. It's all vibe. It's all vibe.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, you want to go into your vibe. So if you're in like a smaller spot where the sound is warm and the people are just like right up on you, you could really go crazy with that.
Yeah. And then
but when you're in a bigger environment, it's a little bit harder to capture them on an underground kind of song like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I got a question just from a consumer standpoint. you know, and also a fan standpoint, just being a fan of the art as a whole. You know, you and Steve had a chemistry, you know, something special that not a lot of producers and artists could really connect or click, and really they've been trying to emulate it for a very long time. Like, and from you, what was that connection, and what was it about his sound and what he was doing to complement what you were doing? Because it seemed like you both were influenced by each other, and it brought out the best and the best product as a whole.
Yeah. Hurley had a sound like, because when we were at ID, remember Hurley, like everybody would give you tracks, right? And everybody had a sound, whether they knew it or not. Like Mo had a sound, Eric and Jerry had a sound, you had a sound, and I don't know, and Jamie had a sound. And it's like with each of those sets of producers, I had a different take on each one of them. And it was something that, nothing against the other ones, because I think we all created some amazing work. But something about Hurley, the way you produced was like, it made it seamless. It's like you kind of gave me more of a canvas to just like create. I don't know. It was just like easy. It wasn't too busy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because when I first started producing, I was putting the kitchen sink in, and I had to learn. Like, I Was one of the most raw songs I ever produced, as far as not having a lot in it. And I think a lot of people don't know this, but remember when we recorded the vocals, it was just almost like a drum beat and a bass that you sang to.
Yeah, it was so raw,
and it made you put you into it.
Yeah.
So then when I got that,
it was almost a cappella.
Yeah.
It was just, I remember that.
When I got that, it's almost like the way Lauryn Hill on Killing Me Softly, how it's real raw. And she put her heart and soul into it. It kind of worked in that way. So then when I was finishing the record, then I could put whatever chords I wanted to put around it.
I remember
which was totally different from what you sang to.
Because I was amazed when you came back to like the way you colored it. I was like, oh my God.
But you know who helped me with that?
Who?
Shabazz.
Shabazz. Yes.
Shabazz and Aaron. It wasn't Aaron so much as Shabazz, because he was a keyboard player.
Yeah.
And I told him what I was trying to do, the types of chords I was trying to do, and I was like singing the chords to him, and he taught me in probably about an hour how to get. It was like a church thing.
Totally.
Yeah. So,
totally.
And I didn't know anything about how to get it. I knew I wanted it, but I wanted to be able to learn it myself so I could massage it and make it be me and church. Like not just somebody else putting their church interpretation. Because I had it in my head, I just didn't know how to play it.
Yeah.
So he taught me just enough for me to get those chords the way I wanted to get them.
And customize.
And then I used my influence of the Eley Brothers for the... Because remember that was...
Oh my God, I never thought of that. To this point,
which is the same thing. R. Kelly was a big fan of the Eley Brothers, and he was taking over with that. So it was a perfect timing to put that Eley influence.
Totally makes sense.
Because the lead sounds came in like right around 94, 95. So that was when everybody was trying to do the little lead sounds. What was that? Let Me Down Easy by the Isleys.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like so that was like music that I used to just listen to when I was a kid, just for my own enjoyment. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and that's probably
me and my boys used to listen to the Eley Brothers, the up tempos and the down tempos.
That's crazy.
It sounds weird now that we were listening to R&B stuff.
But we were though.
Me and some guys listen to R&B. Like people now would be like, "What? Why are you listening to that with him?" Like
it was nothing. It was like
we had an appreciation of our music.
Literally.
Yeah, because we were being given something that was feeding our soul. It wasn't like yeah.
I remember like you said, I remember being in high school and one of my friends who we were in the Lane Tech choir together, he was like, in fact, he's the one who brought me to the studio. I don't know if you remember LaShawn.
Yeah, LaShawn, right. Yeah.
LaShawn, right, because we used to do the talent shows at Lane. We used to do all,
So who did LaShawn know E?
He was working with E. And he needed. That's how the whole thing happened.
Wow.
I was home from school from Indiana State, and he came over. He was like, "What you doing? You want to sing some backgrounds?" I was like, "All right," because I was trying to figure out whether I was gonna go back or not anyway. You know what I mean? And it was like, I was like, "All right," and I went. And fast forward, the rest is history.
Yeah.
But he was like 2 years over me. But we were in the choir together. So
he was 2 years older? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Wow.
But we were all in the choir together. And when you were talking about how y'all were listening to the Eley Brothers, we were in high school. We would be driving around listening to he was like, "Oh my God, the new Luther record is out." Mm-hmm. We literally riding around like the way you would listen to some hip hop.
Yeah.
Like Kendrick got a new album. We riding around listening to the new Luther album. Yeah. Like it's a Kendrick album. That's how I mean. It didn't matter whether it was like dope music. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was like
that album was Superstar and
it was that one. It was that one. It was that one.
That is the one. Like that. We were like, that made you feel away. That was just like, woo.
That was crazy. It was like four of us.
Yeah, because what you listen to can, as a producer or a singer or a performer, what you listen to, like you said, it affects what comes out of you if you become a performer.
Yeah.
Because especially if you like it, you know what I'm saying? Like even if you only like it a little bit, say you only like the scat essence, the scat part of the jazz, but you weren't that crazy about the other part of it, but you still pulled that somehow.
All the time.
But I mean, maybe you prefer to listen to DeBarge or Eley Brothers, LTD, like all those type of...
DeBarge, we had the dopest
DeBarge,
music.
Switch, DeBarge, I mean...
Yeah, all that.
Some singing amazing. Cousins there.
So let me ask you, how have you, and that's a great transition, because how have you seen the music industry from then change to what it has become now?
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know.
Y'all about to sound like an auntie.
Yeah, I know. You know, especially in especially
now I'm about to sound like the auntie.
Well, especially in terms of the connection with the audience, you know, as an artist, and how do you connect? Because I'm sure the connection then is a totally different way that you have to connect with your audience now, even though they carry along with you. Mm-hmm. But the name of it is to connect with a new group of people and get them acclimated and familiar with your art. Right. So how is that different from then to now?
Oh my God, that's a whole, like, first of all, the influence of social media. It's like it's a gift and a curse. Like, I'm glad we didn't have that in a way, but I appreciate how it allows you to I don't know, connect with your audience.
Yeah.
And that in and of itself is a gift and a curse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But to be able to like have dialogue with the people, your fans, and it's like that's the one thing it's like a love-hate. Like I love the way I can communicate with the people who are into me. But then at the same time, you have to do it now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you are not,
it's part of your job.
It's a part of the job now. And I'm used to, especially coming from an artist on a major label where they did everything. It's like, okay, you got to do, this is part of your job now. You got to post and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I get that. And it's like something that whether we like it or not, we have to do. But, it sometimes what I hate is like the lack of authenticity. Mm-hmm. And to me, music is not good unless it's authentic. Right. So how I communicate has to be authentic. And sometimes when you're telling somebody, oh, just post anything, just as long as you post, post, and blah, 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 it's like, okay. And you know, and I have to get better at that, but I still like the fact that the artists that I looked up to, there was a mystery to them.
Yeah.
We didn't know everything about when they go into the grocery store or, you know what I'm saying? I'm brushing my teeth or, you know what I'm saying? I kind of like the fact that there was a mystery. I think there's, and not to mention the whole, even how everything is so sexualized.
Right.
And it's like, everybody loves the sexy, but to me, it's not sexy when it's like, blah, just everything's in your face. Right. And, everybody has to be, to me, sexy is when you're not trying to be sexy. I don't know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's how it was when we were coming up.
Less is more? Yeah,
less is more. But I mean, to each his own. But okay, that's one aspect of it. Now the artistry. Okay, one thing as an artist, like I pride myself in.
Right.
It's like, we're never too old to learn something new. If you close yourself off, that's not art. That's not creative. Like art is infinite. It's limitless, right?
That's true.
It's always new things. So I'm always open to new music, new artists and how they do this. But what I can't stand now is that there's everything is just homogenized. Everything sounds the same.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, one person hits, then everybody follows that.
Right.
And it's like labels used to try that sometimes, but everybody sounded different.
Yeah, at least the vocals used to be different from artist to artist.
Yeah.
Now the vocal once the auto-tune came and T-Pain took over, then Drake. Then everybody sounded like Drake.
They try to sound right.
Vocally, it used to at least be some distinction somewhere.
Exactly.
Vocally, that would make the record sound different.
Exactly. To me, like when we were coming up, like I knew who that person was. And that's what I hope people, when they hear me, I hope they know that that's me. Mm-hmm. Even though I like to have different textures on a record, but I would hope like my fans would know, oh, that's Chantay.
That reminds me of when I first heard Patti LaBelle have auto-tune on one of her records. I was heartbroken when I heard it. I don't remember which one it was,
that's
but
blasphemy.
I don't think it did well, and I know why. Yeah. Because she didn't need it.
What the hell?
But some producer felt like they wanted to put auto-tune, and you could hear it.
Oh,
like it was like flattening all her notes out.
What were they trying to do? Like the share thing?
Yeah, I mean, but it was an R&B song with that, and I'm like, oh no, not Patti.
Hell no. I mean,
I thought she was kicking her shoes off before. She really gonna be kicking them off now when she hears the record.
Throwing them at you.
And throwing them, right?
Yeah.
Let me ask you, just in general, outside of music, right? Because that's the basis of this conversation, which is cool. It's just we hanging out and having a conversation. But outside of music, like where are you outside of music? Is that, do you go to a calm place? Because we're still going back to the art part of it, but you're bigger than just being an artist. Mm-hmm. You're a woman, in today's society, and how do you navigate between the two?
That's a good question. Mm. And then you have to add being not just about being a Black woman. Honestly, like, of course, I'm more than an artist, but it all comes back to that, right? Like being a Black woman as an artist, and it's like, to go back to the previous question a little bit, what I do like about the industry now, it kind of allows you to cater to your other interests and kind of like put them together.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that. And that's one thing we didn't really get a chance to see, looking up to to people that we admired.
Right.
So yeah, other than being a mom, my son is grown now, so I just like I get a chance to be me. But it's like other than the artistry, it's like all of my interests, like fashion, like lifestyle, like health. Mm-hmm. I really try to incorporate them still back to my artistry, and it's like as far as like going forward with the music that I'm working on, it's like in creating my new website and stuff like that. I want to incorporate like the stuff, like I'm so into like holistic herbs and perfume, and I'm like clean everything, and not to get off on that tangent. Yeah. But that's one of the things like I'm really into, and products that cater to that. And then as Black women, they're like, like hair products and stuff like that, that cause other issues with us. It's like I'm really kind of leaning. I have a friend of mine who has products that cater to Black women because certain things, like, not to get off like fibroids and stuff like that. Yeah. There's ways that we can eat, and there's products that we can use, to alleviate those things, but they don't really tell us about that.
Yeah. So that's what's good about the way it is now, is that if you decided you want to have a whole separate Instagram channel about all of that, you can have that.
Exactly.
And nobody's you don't have to talk to the artist development people at RCA to see, can you do this? Like,
exactly.
Yeah. And you're not being forced to talk about something you don't even want to talk about. You can talk about whatever you want to.
Exactly. And that's the gift. That's what I love about the way it's kind of set up now. You could do that.
And let me ask you a question. Do you like that freedom, or do you like it the other way? Because it's like the gift and the curse. Mm-hmm. I hear some people say, man, I like the fact where everything is drawn up, the play is drawn up for me, and I just go out and I execute the play. And then you have some people that's just like, YOLO, I want to do it, do it all myself. But then they don't see everything that comes along with the heavy lifting of doing everything yourself. So that's interesting to get your take on that. I mean, I guess it's a gift and curse to both of them, but it depends on who you are as an individual, because some people want that side of it, and they want that side of it, but they want the other side of it as well. Right. And it's sometimes a push and pull. So how do you?
I will be completely honest.
Yeah.
Completely. I kind of miss the whole setup, like where I just have to be an artist and come and the label takes care of all that on the one hand. On the other hand, I love the freedom of I could put out anything whenever I feel like it. I don't have to get legal. I don't have to answer anybody.
Put out a country album if you want to.
Anything at any time. I love that. And I love the fact that, you love the fact that the money that you make as an independent artist comes to you, right?
Right.
But it's so hard. And the majors make it so hard. They make it hard for you. They make you want to come back to that. But especially the way it is now, there is no way with 360s, and they want to be a part of everything. And it's like, no. Especially as a writer, there's no freaking way that I would give up some of the things that the majors have you give up. I would never go back to that, honestly. Right. But I do miss, as a woman, especially as a woman, as the luxuries. Right. Because honestly, some of that is lost in how you're received at shows or at venues. They're so used to hip hop because everything is hip hop. Like, and they're just used to guys. All they need is, they certain things, their drink, their this, their that, and their entourage or whatever. Right. But no, we as women, like as vocalists, things used to be set out and much nicer. Right. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Right. For example, the way y'all did that show, the Millennium Park, was chef's kiss. Wow. Like, to me, that's what, and it's sad to say that's like a throwback. Yeah. That's almost a throwback. Yeah, right, yeah. Like, of course, and not to drag anybody that I've worked with, because there are promoters that are very, very respectful in that way. Mm-hmm. And they, honor artists in that way. Right. But then there are some that just think everybody ain't hip hop. And even I would imagine that the women in hip hop require much more than that. Right. And it's just like they just blanket everything. It's like, where is first of all, the water, I don't even need snacks, but can we get privacy? Right. Can we get, like makeup room, and we got glam squads. Right. I mean, not like huge, but we can. Yeah. Right. And it's like certain things like that. There's not enough of that. That is especially from us. You know what I'm saying? From us.
Well, that's why we did it. We really wanted to give you guys as Black women the respect that you deserve for doing what you do and what you have to deal with on a daily basis. At least if you come do a show and things are laid out for you the right way. Like we didn't want anything to go wrong. I mean, it's always going to be something that could go wrong, but we tried to strive for perfection as much as we could, and for you to say that you appreciated that, absolutely. That makes us feel and like I'm sure no matter what we went through to pull that off, it was worth it.
I'm sure every woman there, everybody, we all were having a good time. We had the space to commune and take pictures and, just to be and like be the artist and be in a safe, comfortable, respectful environment. And that's really all we want. Like it's not even on some diva type shit.
Right.
Of course we could all diva out if we want to, but it's not really like that all the time. We just want just to say, I see you, girl, I see you, sister. Let me, and not have it just be white folks doing this.
Right.
It's from us. That's how we ask. And once again, it's like, that's what y'all did. From me, I totally appreciated that.
Yeah, we being creatives, I think it's important to pay homage to other creatives and to show them their just due and not after the fact, because unfortunately we wait until it's too late in order to highlight, the greats that we have in our marketplace and in our genre of music or just in the world of music, not just specific to one particular genre. And you can go in a lot of different directions as a creative and promoter, but we sat down, we talked about it, we collaborated, and we thought that as a group would be something special, not just for the artists such as yourself, but also for the community of enthusiasts that really support the genre and support strong women as a whole. And that's what we were trying to convey. It doesn't have to always be driven in one direction. We can drive the narrative in the space that we choose to want to drive it and that we think the world has a void and not seeing. We wanted people to see it in such a way where they'll take a look at it and say, maybe we should do more of this. Maybe we should be more inclusive in this space to incorporate some of these young ladies whose had hit records and who's toured the world. Maybe we can put them in some of our programming as well. But it all starts somewhere. Someone has to start the program on that type of stage in order for the rest of the world to identify. You all were fantastic. Everyone came out sounding great, looking beautiful, and incredibly professional. And that's all we care about at the end of the day, because we're going to do our part. Everyone else did their part. And that's why we can all lead there and even, in fact, be sitting here now. Just think, we're so used to all of us butting heads, and that's, Steve and I, we try to subscribe to a positive way of going about things and not talking about it, but being about it. Yeah. We're not going to say, we want you to be a part of something and then we don't, or we get you somewhere and we agreed to something and then we go left on what we agreed on. That's just not who we are. And what it does, it builds up trust and it builds up a professional equity where then at the end of the day, they mean what they say and say what they mean because my name is my name.
Exactly.
What I mean? My name is my name and our word is our word. So if I don't have that, what else do we stand for? Exactly. So let me ask you, what would you tell the younger version of you now?
Oh God. Save. Save. I don't know. It's like some of the things that I told myself then, I'm glad I adhered to. Like, I don't know, just coming up, I just remember, because like the business can be dark, it could be ugly. And, there's that side of it that's just terrible. And coming up, like I crossed paths with like a lot of artists who were bitter and like just being around them, they were doing it, but they were bitter about it. And it's like that rubbed off on everything, the environment that we were. And I just promised myself, like, no matter what you go through in this business, don't be that. Just always be open and just never let it make you bitter. And I told myself that then, and to this day, it's like with all the shit that I've seen and that has we've all experienced and a lot of my peers have experienced. I just refused to let it make me bitter because I still have the gift God gave me.
Right.
You know, and I've learned so much that I can teach other people.
Right.
I guess what I would have told myself other than that is just be more open-minded with certain situations, right? But some of those things protected me as well, like being closed-minded.
Right.
As a woman coming up, that's a whole nother podcast.
Right.
But yeah, so, but in certain situations, just be more open. And I've kind of incorporated that in the way that I, move now.
Right.
Just to be more, because people are different. And it's like, that's kind of one of the lessons that I learned from my mom before she passed. It was like at her funeral, in that whole situation, I met so many people that she had relationships with and held secrets of that I knew nothing about.
Right.
And I wouldn't even imagine that she would be like cool with this person but what I learned from her is that she just met people where they were. She didn't prejudge them, and she handled and dealt with them openly and accordingly to where they were.
Wow.
And it's like I
That's great.
try to live by that now because we're all different. And who would want us to be the same anyway?
It's so easy to judge somebody.
Yeah.
When you don't even know what they're going through. You don't like
their story.
Yeah, I try to always make sure I check myself when I start getting upset with somebody and before I start taking it to another level, I'm like, I don't know what they're going through. Like, maybe I should just pray for that person.
Yeah.
Right.
As opposed to being mad at them. Because you don't know what people are going through.
It doesn't even have anything to do with you.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how my mom always used to say, because I was like, oh, yeah. She would say, keep living.
Yeah.
Keep living.
Yeah.
It's like so much stuff. That's why I tell like my friends who are parents to this day, when they're going through things and girl, blah, 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 blah. I was just like my mom used to tell me, you have to trust what you instilled.
Wow.
Because there were so many things that my mom used to tell me that I was like, at a certain age, you don't think they know anything.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And later on, I was like, oh my God, she was right about everything. You know,
Wow.
She was right about so many things. And you found yourself, or you would find yourself applying those things without even knowing. It's like autopilot. So it's like, you just have to trust what you instill. In so many ways.
You seem very center, and you seem at peace. So how do you balance, like, for example, your personal life with your creative life? Because most people, it becomes a tug of war or push and pull when you're trying to do them both. And you can tell how disrupted some folks are because their brain is doing like a 360 going opposite directions. So how do you even balance those two out? Because I can just tell in the space where you're in, where you're at, it's just a very calm, relaxed seduce. So how do you balance your personal and professional life to keep sane?
God, I had to learn that. It's like, and I guess the older you get, the more I just got to a place where it's like, okay, I have to put my peace first.
Right.
It's like, because there was a time when I would just say yes to everybody. You feel guilty about, and then being an artist is like, the moment you don't do something, it's like, oh, she's being a diva. Or and it's like, you can't just do it. And I would feel good. And then that was just like this epiphany. And it was like, you know what? I got to start putting my peace first because I used to really get stressed out about that. You just you want to be a pleaser and you just can't do that because honestly, their life is still lifing.
Life is life.
Life is going to life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you don't, I just learned to put my piece first. But more than anything, know who you are. I know who I am now. At this age,
that's awesome.
I know myself.
Right.
And that's it.
That's deep. You say that. So how that. I love what you say, and you make it easy for me because they're easy transitions, you know. So how do you define success? Because you say you know who you are. So how do you define success? Because success comes from so many different factors within an individual because it's all it's all internal. You know what I mean? So how do you define success?
Honestly, I've seen different levels of success. In fact, I'm still right now I'm searching for another level of success. But to me, the ultimate level of success is I hate to say that word again, but when you could just be at peace 24/7, 360 and call it the way you want it, because even you can't always call it the way you want it.
Right.
But when you get to that place when to me, success is complete financial security, emotional security, and just self-awareness. So, you know what I mean? And it's like I'm almost there, but I got a ways to go still. And that's to me, that's another thing. It's like I'm forever the student.
Right.
You know what I mean? I can teach a lot, but I'm forever a student. So, but to me, the success is not but you know, this grand thing you see on TV. No, it's not about.
You want to survive.
Yeah, you want to survive.
You need that piece of not having to worry about every month and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But once you get past that, having the over the top stuff is not, to me, success.
That's another thing. It's like I've seen it all. Like I've been damn near around the world. I've driven the cars. I've been to the palaces, and you know, I've had all these nice things, but you know, you have them, you lose them, you get them again. But when the smoke clears, and not to get morbid, but when you get to a certain point in life where you see how valuable life is, and it's like seeing people at the end of that life, the last thing they're thinking about is the things.
Right.
It's not that at all.
Right.
I mean, I had to learn that firsthand, especially with my mom. But it's the last thing in your last moments that you're thinking about is things.
Right. Wow. That's incredible. And if you can perform, because that's a great transition. If you can perform with anybody, deceased or living, who would that person be? Or who would those people be?
I've had these thoughts like, okay, Prince, for sure. Because he influenced me in a lot of ways too, musically. That's a hard one because there's so many people. Like there are people that like I would have loved it. Like I would like to do something with Kendrick Lamar. I think he's a dope artist. Like today, you know what I mean? Like, and that's a whole nother facet. Like, cause I'm a big hip hop head at the same time too. So like maybe Dr. Dre, I don't know. But musically, Prince, it would have been dope to do a duet with him. Maybe Luther, Lenny Kravitz. Oh gosh,
It's a long list.
Yeah, we could do this.
Oh wow!
Because I just like different vibes. You know what I mean? And then I've got a chance to work with like JB Principal. I've worked with. I wanted. We talk about doing stuff again, but it's just like artists that you can like get lost in, like that Let's Get Intimate thing. That was a whole nother vibe, and it's you know what I'm saying? I like getting with artists. You could just do something new. But it's still you're yourself, but just do some new stuff.
How was it working with Jamie Principal?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Because it's like we grew up at the camp.
Right.
That was the camp. And it was like me and Jamie, we always came out with some sideways stuff that was dope though. It was always good. I love working with him.
So looking back at your career, what would you say one of your biggest accomplishments?
I Will Survive is definitely the biggest.
Oh wow.
Hands down.
And that's up there on my list too.
That song is like platinum around the world. That was the big, to this day, that is my biggest, and I'm so most proud moment.
What's your direct journey with I Will Survive? Like for the people that don't know the journey behind it, because I know once that hit, it hit. It hit.
Oh God.
So how did that impact you and everything that you were doing creatively as an artist at that point when it hit? Because now that's a whole nother level.
That was crazy because we were coming off of, as a signed artist, we were coming off of Betcha, right? And they were looking for something new. And
it was for a soundtrack, right?
Yeah, it was for a soundtrack. It was for
and didn't they want us to just do it as an up-tempo? And we said
First Wives Club, right? Was it First Wives? What was it from? I forget. The Perez family, because they ended up using it on the First Wives Club at way down the line. Right. Yeah, they wanted us to do just an exact remake, disco. Remember?
Yeah. Yep.
And Hurley, how did we do? Because I just remember I was in the room.
I think because we had R&B success and you weren't really house head as an artist. You came from that, right? But you weren't trying to be the next house diva.
Exactly.
You were more so moving into a place where you really wanted to be, which was getting the respect as an R&B artist. So
right.
If we had an opportunity,
and we were headed in that direction.
So I felt like I could take that and do something really good R&B and maybe make one of my best R&B productions, because you have the chops to do vocally whatever we want to do. I'm like a kid in the candy store working with you, because you could sing to a beat. Who could do that?
Right.
Who could just sing to just a beat?
We did.
And you in key on that beat, and it's mostly drums and a little bass line playing, and you sang the whole thing. I had, they weren't expecting us to do that, I know. And when they heard it, they had to be like, wow, because they thought we were going to just give them some average little remake of I Will Survive. I don't know why it was I Will Survive that they wanted. It was something to do with the actual project.
Right.
Like maybe lyrical content of it.
Right.
But then that song was so great, like just the lyrics of it, and was so powerful as an R&B record. It was even more powerful because you could make people feel everything you were telling in the story on your verses.
Yeah,
I was afraid. I was petrified.
I didn't. It's crazy.
Yeah, all that. It sounds different as an R&B.
When we were in your room, when we were conceptualizing. You were saying what we were gonna do. You were like, I think you were like, well, let's slow it down or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, I know this song. We all know this song, but I didn't know that song.
Because remember, I could do a house remix on anything. So
right.
So it didn't matter if we made it R&B. If we could always backpedal and say, okay, but we got a house version too. So y'all are straight. Yeah, we're gonna give you that too. But check this out. And this is something different.
Everybody knew it. That but I had we were in that room. And I was like, Hurley, slow it down so I can see what she's saying.
Right.
And I remember writing the lyrics out as because you slowed it down. Remember we were going, and I was like, oh, snap. I had no idea that this is what this lady was saying. This is what Gloria Gaynor was saying.
Yeah, I never knew the words to I Will Survive. Because I'm a melody person, so when I heard you singing that, I'm like, this is actually a really good song.
Right. I was like, what? This is what she's saying? How many people could relate to this? I could relate to it.
So you back from outer space. Like that was crazy. I never knew that was what she was saying.
It was on. Once I saw those lyrics, it was on.
Yeah.
It was on. I was like, I had no idea. And it was just, and then fast forward from that, remember I went up to GCI for something. I don't even know what I was up there for.
Oh, and the DAT was there. You were doing an interview, right?
Yeah.
And did you give a sneak preview of it or something?
Yeah, Airwave was like, what are you working on?
Oh, and then you played it for him, and you left it.
Andre had it, and Andre played it.
And he played it for him in his office, or you played it for him on. You didn't play it on the air, right?
In his office, he played it in his office.
And somehow I got left behind.
Yeah,
in his DAT machine or something like that.
Andre left it,
but that actually probably became a blessing.
Elroy, I don't know if Elroy asked him to leave it. All I know is Elroy. You know the story. Elroy heard that song, and he was like,
"Yeah, that sucker in rotation before it was even out."
I don't even know if I was at home yet. The man, it was like, oh my God. And then everybody was panicking. Oh my God, it's not out yet. And I don't think they weren't planning on that being a single.
Yeah, because it was for that project. It wasn't for your. Exactly. It wasn't for your album initially or whatever. No, right?
It was.
And then it's like we need an album because you had to sell albums for people to make money back in the day.
Exactly. It wasn't a lot. It wasn't supposed to be for my album. But Elroy, and what I love about him, he committed to that song. He blew the song up in Chicago. Totally. Then he knew what was like, okay, it was like, Elroy, the label, they tripping. He was like, I don't care if they put this song out 3 years from now, I'm going to play this record. Right. And he locked in.
And he kept playing it and kept playing it. It wasn't like no shelf life to it. Like, I'm going to play this for 3 weeks and I'm done.
He was playing that top rotation the whole time. He let the label switch it out. Did it go to the movie? Whatever they did to it, it became the first single of that album. And he let them, he waited, he played it the whole time, relentlessly.
We was burning rubber trying to get that album done.
Yep, because of that.
Now with Elroy Smith, he was at WGCI at that point. By him doing that and putting you in rotation on a major terrestrial radio station in Chicago, in a major market, obviously. And I'm sure there's other records that they're playing throughout the day, throughout this rotation. Was there ever a place where you were compared to other artists? Because obviously you must have heard something to fit whatever the format for what they were doing was. So who were some of these other artists that was connected? Nobody. Huh? Wow.
That was the beauty. That was the beauty of then, because it didn't sound like anybody.
Wow. Right. So we
set that standard. That was like, this is the new shit. This didn't sound like anything. Right. Nothing.
So for the record, it didn't sound like anything. So you coined that particular sound at that point in time. And later we got influences, but it comes from a place.
To me, I really wish it would go back to that, because you got to respect his ear, and you got to respect his chutzpah for just like, this, I'm playing this. This feels good. I'm playing this.
I've been here before. Like I know what it feels like to have a record like this. I'm not letting this one go.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, Chantay, now it is incredible that we have you sitting here, because I understand all of the history that you've had with Steve Silk Hurley, which is sitting off to the side, and all of the incredible music that you both have created together. And I understand that you guys are going to be embarking on creating some more music and revamping some of the old music.
Yes.
So is it a way that you can tell us a little bit about that? Is it a secret, not a secret? Talk to the people. Okay.
I don't think it's a secret, but yes, we talked about doing another issue of Is that the spirit talking to me?
Hey, we might end up doing that. You never know. Hey.
Right, because I did a version of Bet You Never Find last year because that was a 30-year anniversary. Mm-hmm. But Hurley and I are going to do another version of it because it's us. Right. Like, we created and we talked about doing some new music. And I'm really excited that, the magic that we created, that we're going to get together and do some new stuff. Because honestly, I get asked that all the time. Are you going to do something with Hurley again? And I always say, yeah, but there was never anything definite. He and I hadn't really hashed it out and talked about what we were going to do. We talked about it last year, but we hashed out stuff. And so we're going to do some more stuff. So I'm really looking forward to that.
We're going to get in there with Joey.
Right.
That's
Joey Fernandez.
I love Joey.
Yeah, I do too.
Joey is our guy.
I love Joey.
Yeah. It's just
he gonna take good care of us. We're gonna have the right mic. He'll pull out 9 different mics before we find a good one.
He's
you
the guy.
always had the bomb mic for me. Like you always. In fact, I'm gonna talk through that later because
the C12 was the
that's
last
what it
one.
was.
Yeah, the green one. That's the one that we did our survival.
Because you told me, because in fact,
but before that at Tanglewood, it was that 7. What was it called? AKG 414.
Yeah.
But he knows your voice. I talked to Joey about. He's like, well, with the 414, her voice is a little more edgy, and with the with the C12, it's more smooth. So it's like depends on what it is that we're going for. So that's what I'm saying. He'll pull them out. He'll be like, wait, let's try this one. Okay. Or let's try this modeler that is somewhere in between. Like he's a guru with that stuff.
The chemistry is unreal. When you mix a Joey Fernandez, a Chantay Savage, and a Steve Hurley and toss them in a room, I can't imagine what's going to come out of that because you have professionals at the highest level on every end of that. Yeah. And the connection and the chemistry that fuses that is not just great for the individuals and the art, but it's also great for the consumer and enthusiasts that love the music. Yeah. So that's dope.
And Joey's another person who like appreciates the art of it all. Yeah. Because I've worked with Joey, with Terry, and Joey is like,
he's intense.
He ain't playing.
And he'll tell me if I'm on the wrong page. I like send him something. I'll be like, I just mastered this. He's like, you sure?
Right. He's gonna tell you.
Send it to me, bro. Send it to me, bro.
He's gonna tell you. I've seen Joy get heated at people when stuff wasn't right. He ain't gonna. Michael, don't stop till you get enough. He ain't gonna stop till it's right.
Joy needs his justice.
He's not gonna make the pie for you. He's gonna show you how to make the pie. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then he's gonna be like, you still don't get it? Like, I mean, I need that tough love when it comes to life.
We're probably gonna have to get Joey on the show.
Dude.
Yeah, we're gonna have him on here.
He's a good dude. I bet Joy got some stories to tell.
Oh yeah.
He would.
He probably got some stories. He probably got some
great stories because he's behind the scene of the action before it becomes action. You know what I mean? Right. So he's getting people in their authentic self because they're there to create, right? Mm-hmm. So his stories, even the ones that he can share, when you're working with so many people, everybody from extreme gospel artists to extreme gangster rappers, right? The parallel between the two is crazy. And to be able to manage both of those acts together, unreal. You know, like that's because you deal with one group a certain way, you deal with another group another way. So to be able to always find, and everybody say the same thing when the gangster rappers like, we love Joey. And then we got the gospel acts like, we love Joey.
How about how I don't know if you all knew this, but he was at his house. He got a setup at his house too, in addition to the other studio, where he was actually mixing a church's signal. Like the whole band was coming through digitally to his house. He was mixing it and sending it back out, and they were broadcasting it live.
What?
From his house. Like, and we're talking about like 30 tracks of instruments, vocals. Are you
serious?
And he was doing it. He was doing it live on some, I don't know if he had fiber optic.
That's
something.
Crazy.
He's like next level with
That's
it.
crazy.
Like, he'll have you step up your game. Like,
big ups to Joey, man. We got to get you on here, Joey.
We're gonna see you soon, Joey.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah. And if you can listen to one song, just one song in your life for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh God! Oh, how? Skip.
I'm here. Come on, I'm here for it. You asked for the smoke. I'm giving you the smoke. Asked for smoke. I got smoke for you.
Oh no! One song, bruh.
I know that's
oh my God.
That would be tough on me.
Literally, like one song
like
for
one
what?
song. Like, I'm talking about like the Titanic
it's going down. It's kind of like you won't get tired of it.
Like the Titanic going down, and that's your song on the way out. That song. Like where instead of
I can't.
Where you tell
it depends on my headspace. For example, see this all the way from the left.
Yeah.
One of my favorite voices and vocalists ever is Marvin Winans. That, oh my God, he is like my spirit animal. Like I know we're from the same vocal tribe, and see that's what's so beautiful about music. Like 2 weeks ago, wasn't going through anything in particular, but this the spirit. Like there's this song, "Draw Me Close." I don't know if you know it. His what do you call them? His Spotify or whatever probably had a bump because I just played the hell out of that record.
Right.
Like seriously, that's how much I played that record. Like, so it depends on when you ask that question because that I like voices. Like, so if you asked me last week, I would have said Draw Me Close by Marvin Winans.
Okay.
And I'm not like, even though I grew up in church, I'm not a gospel head like that. But it's like songs that, you know what I mean? That's why people, because my husband, he's amazed. Like we'll go to church somewhere and I know every song.
Wow.
But I don't play gospel around the house. Right. But maybe because I grew up there. I don't know.
That's the beauty of music is that it feeds your soul for what you're going through right now.
Exactly.
Like when Mary came out with them.
Oh my God. With the 411?
Yeah, 411 and My Life. I mean, people felt that.
Yeah, My Life. Yeah.
It's like they listen. That's on play.
That was it right there.
That was on play all day long.
Right.
Right.
I probably had to buy a new album. You know how you wore records out. So I don't know.
Can't do that
and that's just that one. Like I said, I'm not like my whole catalog is not filled with gospel music. I have some personally, but then the week before that, but I wouldn't say forever. But I'm like a Gunna record.
Right.
You know what I mean? Bittersweet. Like I can tell you every word.
Right. Because you're saying so many like emotional records. You know, I'm just wondering what type of records that actually triggers you because you sang so many of them yourself. So sometimes it's a contrast, sometimes it's right in the pocket. So that's why I asked.
Crazy. Like art literally brings me to tears sometimes. Like when it's good, it's art. Like music is the most beautiful art to me. So it's hard to just say what. Now, if I had like technically, okay, there's one type of music I can only choose this. Then I'll say a Sade out. Okay. Because you can listen to Sade for everything. Right. It do everything, top right? To bottom. You know what I'm saying? And it's like she works for just damn near any situation. So yeah. Because I can't say myself. I'll get tired of hearing myself.
Right. Yeah.
So what's the funniest thing ever happened to you during a studio session or even on tour?
Oh God. Oh.
So much.
Oh, so there's too many things. There are too many things.
I'm talking about the funniest where you may be sitting in a space and thinking, I can't believe this. Remember back in.
I can't make this up.
Right. Yeah, I can't make that. I'm not making it up.
Okay, I can't say names. There's a few things. Like there's a time when there's one time when my role manager at the time, and I'm not gonna say any names.
Yeah, don't say no names.
And you know, I don't know. We had been on the road a lot. We were fried, right? Yeah. And we were just like crank calling all the other artists, just crank, sitting up and dying, and none of them knew. And this was like before the show. And we would like call their rooms and just talk shit or, you know what I mean? Right. Tell them other.
All just those people who were on the same tour with you.
On the show.
Oh, on the show. Okay.
That's one. But okay, this is.
So you
and
just
I just did a show. That's that one. Okay. But this is the worst. To this day, I'll never forget. Okay. We were in New Orleans, right? I had a show in New Orleans. Big festival. And the show was great. And at that time, I had a great relationship with the music director there. Mm-hmm. He would always take us out, blah, 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 blah. Did the show. And before we were like, it was me, my manager, my background dancers at the time. We were like, before we go, we got to do the, what do you call the French Quarter? Oh. We got to do the whole French Quarter thing. Right. So work was done, money was paid. And this was the night before we left. We took our butts to the French Quarter and we had dinner and started doing hurricanes, right?
Not the hurricanes. Gee whiz.
We started out with hurricanes. And the next thing I know, we're doing like tequila shots. They had them in those like, what do you call those? Beakers.
Yep.
And next thing I don't know, it's probably we literally doing a conga line in the middle of the street. Literally, we going around drunk as hell. Like, literally, I'm like, one of my dancers, she's sitting on the curb. We were having a blast, but we took it way too far. I don't know when we got back to the hotel, and then we had a flight. We didn't get a chance to sleep or nothing. All I knew, we were a hot ass mess. So we threw all our clothes because there ain't no packing. Because we had to catch that flight. Threw our stuff in the bags. We were like, okay, be at the elevator. We had like t-shirts from the promo because we didn't even have our clothes. We just threw on like the promo t-shirts from the radio station. Wow. So here we are, sunglasses. We had to. So whatever. Lord, luckily I had short hair. Sunglasses, just all hungover. I know we were reeking. We get on the elevator, and I just did a show with her. I ain't even gonna say her name, but she's the sweetest, most bubbly thing. And we all on the elevator, down, and when she get on the, and she gets on the, hi guys, and we're just like, I was so embarrassed, but I know she was like, what the hell what the hell have y'all been doing? I know that whole elevator was lit.
Wow.
And so to this day, whenever the term New Orleans comes up, that's what I think of. And we had to ride home. And I'll never forget that the flight was full of turbulence. It was I'll never do that again. I will never do that again. But it was so hilarious because if you could see us and see her, she was all fresh. Clearly, she slept that night. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh my God, never again. Wow. But that to this day.
Sometimes you ask people about that stuff and they're like, oh, I didn't even know you all was tore up.
I just saw her
sometimes
recently.
You're so conscious about it that you think they notice it, but they might not. You had the sunglasses on.
You're probably paranoid.
Unless you really were reeking.
My God. And my background, they had thrown up. It was a hot ass mess, okay? And it's like, I saw her recently and I was like, she remembers that, but I wasn't even gonna bring it up.
Right.
That's how bad it was.
Wow.
But it was so bad, it was hilarious though. So.
Yeah.
What was your favorite place you visited being an artist? And what was the worst?
Okay. I'll name the favorite. My favorite was South Africa.
Oh, okay.
That was like.
And why? Give me the South Africa story. I love South Africa.
Because like the way they received me was just beautiful. And it's like, you always think going to the motherland and all that. And it was definitely that, because there's nothing like seeing yourself as the majority, as a population. Mm-hmm. That blew my mind. Like everywhere you go, the billboards, you know what I mean?
Right.
The bosses, from the bosses to the janitor, they're all Black. Mm-hmm. So I love that aspect.
Yeah.
But the love and the reverence was just like, I felt like I was in Joburg. I was in Joburg, and then I did the festival for what's the name of that festival? What was the name of the festival? The Mukufe Festival, which is in where is it? Bloemfontein. So it's like a quick little, like a plane ride, like an hour away.
Oh, okay.
From Joburg.
Oh, wow.
And I was there for like about 8 days or something
That's
like
awesome.
that. And it was the reverence was amazing. I mean, I felt like
the Queen of Zumunda.
Really? I mean, because in America, home is like I've never experienced that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like here, it's like love, especially when I Was Survival was at its height. We had those moments, but like so far down the line, going there and then being in the airport and people recognizing you and running up and asking you, "Oh, could you come to my store?" And you know what I'm saying? And in the airport, it was just amazing. It was amazing. And then performing for like this huge festival, and they knew every word. Like, that's the one place where I go to that I got a chance to do damn near every song on that. Wow. On that I Will Survive
appreciate
album.
our art. Like,
my! Did you know that?
Who?
Body.
Oh yeah.
Huge over there.
I saw it on the where you could see where people are reacting to your stuff and where the streams are coming from.
Knew every word.
Like, oh wow.
I don't have to sing the song if I want to.
Yeah, they even knew our JM Silk album from 1986. People were sending me Facebook messages like, man, I always loved Shadows of Your Love or whatever, I can't turn around. And
the purest.
The level of respect is amazing. When I went over there for the first time,
it was in the 2000s. Mm-hmm. Even though I had already been in the business for so long, but they're still having me sign my first album. Oh.
Which is great.
It's a whole different kind of love. You went over there doing festivals.
Yeah, but I love it. And I think that us connecting the dots and showing the world that we're bigger than what they marginalize us to be. We're human beings, right? That's why I'm asking questions about things that are outside of just you as a creative and as an artist, but you as a human being and as a woman in today's society.
Right.
Why not ask those questions? Because they don't want to know those questions. They want you to be in a situation where you're stuck falling into whatever their narrative is and not giving you the space and the opportunity to craft and create your own narrative.
Exactly.
You've done all these cool things, like you said, been all over the world and been featured. And look what they do. So we don't want to do that. And once you see a void in something, we're those people. We subscribe to, we're not going to complain about it, and we don't want you to change it. We'll be the change that we want to see.
We need that, though.
And hopefully other people double down and they do the exact same thing.
Yeah, we really need that. Because, I like what the basketball players are doing, like some of the retired basketball players. Yeah. I love that they have all the podcasts. And, you get a chance to see, you know what I mean? The experiences, some of the stories behind stuff you didn't even know. But they're telling their own narrative. And first of all, that's another thing. I'm a big NBA fan. But the way the league has changed so much, it's almost parallel to music. It's so homogenized and I hate the way they stifle them. They can't even do this without getting a tech. Yeah. They can't be a human being without, you know what I'm saying? It's
it's a business, and they've taken away the free form of the art, which is what they've done business. Which is what they've done to artists, right?
Yeah.
And that's why this was important for us because, there's no middle people.
Yeah.
When you go in that space, guess what? It either works or it doesn't.
Right.
But we're the ones that, if we don't believe in it, how can we get someone else to double down and believe in it? So instead of arguing about it, going somewhere else, dealing with them and their equipment and their time and their space, we'll double down and just bring all the stuff in-house. That way, we don't have to ask permission. We don't have to have somebody shut the door on us because, when you're doing stuff like this and it looks too uniform, like how we make it.
They don't want to see no unity now.
When it's too uniform, it's let's shut the door on.
Yeah.
Let's shut the door on. This is going too far. Just like, downtown, like we spoke about. That was a doozy. We got a lot of support, great support from some fantastic people that believed in the vision. But you're going to always have people that don't see it that way. We fought the fight for that screen. And that screen was bigger.
It was huge.
It
was dope. That added so much to the...
Yeah, we fought hard for that.
The crowd loved that.
You know what I loved about it? Everybody got their look, and they just do. It said Chantay Savage, big as all get out on the big screen, on the booth, right?
That was dope.
And motion graphics for each person,
they don't want to do
and
that.
Everybody got out
no
there and
matter what your resume is.
Everybody rocked it. Everybody rocked it.
It's when you're dealing with creatives, they go dolo, right? And luckily, Silk is the type that he subscribes to the same thing that I do, which is why we work well as a unit when we're doing business, is because we're the last, like, you know, I'm one of those. I'm out the way. I kind of sit over here off to the side. And people don't even know. They might think I'm dude's intern or they don't know what I do. And I'm fine. Yeah,
that's been said too.
Yeah, that's been said. Yeah. And I'm cool with that because I'm not egotistical that way. If you put it like this, if you know me, you know me. Right. I'm actually in the room.
Right.
I'm actually and it's weird because when they go with him and they press him and then he tell them, well, you got to talk to Skip about that. Who is Skip? Why? Right. You directed me to him to have that conversation, and they have the wrong conversations, right? I'm just one of those intricate folks when it comes to dealing with people in business. You know, he's accomplished a great deal in his career, right? He's done a world of music,
right?
And a lot of people may, in fact, not know who I am, but that's where it gets tricky. My question, if I'm on the other side of that, is we know who Steve is, but why would he partner with someone? I might want to know who the hell this guy is because he didn't have to partner with somebody in order to do business because he's already him.
Right.
So who is this guy?
Right. There has to be a reason.
You know, there's a reason.
Ain't crazy.
Especially after all we went through in 93 to 95.
Yes.
There's no way I would hook up with anybody else.
Oh my God! Right.
If it wasn't right.
Yes. The lessons we learned.
Drastic improvement.
Exactly.
Well, and it's about growing the art form with the people that you know are deserving. I just want to, if nothing else, become a vessel. And I guess maybe that's me because I'm not the ego dude and I don't toot my own horn. It's weird. People are, man, you need to say something. You need to jump off the cliff.
Push him to say something.
You know when you need to say something.
You know what? I think some of the things that I've done kind of, if nothing else, speaks for itself, and the people that know. You know, me and Fats, we talked about that last week, and he like, man, what about this? But I'm a call to action guy. Like everything that I do is kind of thought out, and it has to have a call to action to it. I'm not random. So if it happens, it happens. All of the things that people see are something that's premeditated that we already had an idea about. Right. To be honest, I'm going to keep it real. We're sometimes 3-4 years ahead of the curve of things that people are just seeing now.
That's thought, though. Yeah. That's forethought.
Just like how you felt when you were on that tour and you were performing songs that people don't know, you're ahead of the curve. Like, you got to be willing to go through that fire of people having to learn the songs. And then you're gonna reap the harvest. Like later on.
You get to the end of that tour and it's a whole nother story.
If it's great music. At least back then it was like that.
It was.
Where if it's really good, at some point the cream is gonna rise to the top.
That's what I always say. That's what you want to see. That's the science that you should see.
Yeah. What about these young artists? I mean, how do you see the industry and the landscape of these young artists? And are you one of those people that just want to observe and be a fan of it? Are you the individual that's open to mentoring some of these young folks and saying, you know what, I think you're dope, and you know, maybe I can give you some advice or help you or lead you in the right direction?
Absolutely, because somebody like reached out to me. You know what I mean? And it's like, I love when I see something in an artist. It's like I could spot a star a mile away a lot of times. And it's like, you just know that. I think when you see that thing, and it's like all they need is direction or a platform or a push or, in a lot of times, encouragement. Because sometimes people don't get them, or you know what I mean? Or sometimes they're in an environment that's never going to get them. But you see that thing, I'm always open to mentoring because somebody mentored me.
See, that's awesome. Who's your mentor?
My director.
Your director, your director,
it's like she's the one who said, I didn't even know what she was, what do you mean? She was like, you have a gift.
Right.
And and because of that, and the older I got, she just kept her hand on me. She was like, now you have an obligation to honor that gift, that instrument.
Right.
It's like, and I never took it lightly.
Wow. That's awesome.
Never.
That's awesome. I love it.
And it shows.
Yeah. So we've concluded. This is awesome. I mean, this is a great This is gonna be a crazy episode.
This is a great plan.
When it gets chopped down. Wait you see it.
I can't wait to get this.
What we didn't want to do is compromise the quality of it, right? That's why when you see it, you're gonna be like, wow. Because normally we just throw something up against the wall, hope it stick, but we're being judged globally, right? Mm-hmm. People in South Africa gonna see it. Yeah. People in these other markets. We want this for everybody that we deal with. When they see this, it becomes interactive and connective. Where when they see it, they're like, wow, what they on? And that's cool that they brought these people in the fold to do just that. Because unfortunately, you don't get that opportunity without people having some ulterior motive or a way that they're beating you out or using you for something. Oh my God, yeah. And that drives me nuts. So be the change you want to see in what you're doing.
Yep. Be the change.
Be the change you want to see.
So we just need one thing. Look into that camera. Let them know what's up. This is Chantay Savage, and you're watching me live on the SNS Chicago podcast.
This one?
Yep. That was straight ahead. That's yours.
You see yourself?
Hey, y'all.
Well, one more fast. I'm going to put my arm up, too. They going to put their arm on the table. Let me do something. Yeah. That's hilarious.